Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first edition of Philadelphia's finest. And we're not talking about cream cheese, we're not talking about the police, and we're not talking about the city itself. We're just talking about the Eagles. They won the Super Bowl. But I digress. Today we're here to have a more somber conversation, and it's a tech conversation about two evil empires. One is Google. And let me tell you, about 3 or 4 days ago, Google reported that they were planning to get into bed with the Chinese. Yes, they're going to launch something that they refused to do about, I don't know, 7 or 8 years ago because they said it was an evil, bad thing to do. But what they're going to do is provide a highly censored, yet very lucrative version of its search engine to the Chinese. And guess what this thing will do? It'll block websites and certain sites that have search terms that the government controls that will just make them go away. Your site here in the United States might be the best site in the world, might be a news site for say, but it might say bad things about the Chinese. Well, Google, in their infinite wisdom, is going to block it. This is a hush-hush project, and it's codenamed Dragonfly. And if anybody knows Google, and we do, because we're a Google digital partner, well, we're not really, because maybe we are, maybe we're not. Well, we are. But it's really hard to look up if they are because Google's taken that away. They want their name out there. They don't want you bothering them, asking if people are partners. They don't care. They just want your money. They want you to get bad search results so that you use the paid stuff, which you think would be more germane. But hey, maybe, maybe not. But once again, I digress. But Project Dragonfly, which started somewhere back around the spring of 2017, according to The Intercept, which first reported the story, said they found internal Google documents and sources that were familiar with these plans. So guess what? You need to do a project. A search term might include human rights, democracy, religion, peaceful protest. Well, guess what? They won't show up on Google. Oh, but they will here, but not in China. Yeah, it's going to block sites like the BBC. And it's even going to block, say, Wikipedia, which around the rest of the world Google has partnered with and said it's like a reliable thing now. It's their version of the Encyclopedia Dictionary. Very cool. I like Wikipedia. Haven't been able to figure out all those wiki this and wiki that, but I like Wikipedia. So the censorship is going to go as far as to be embedded into searching images, spell checking, and even when they suggest searches to you. Yes, this is Google. This is just unfreaking believable. By the way, if there's any politicians listening, which I know most of you don't listen to any of us citizens, whether we vote or not, but Google should be investigated. And in fact, I believe Google should be regulated. And I'm a deregulation guy, but regulate it. Okay, so what's all this mean? Well, what it really means is Google can't point people to sensitive terms or photography within China because some of it will be banned and deemed insensitive by the government. So according to the report, a few hundred people within Google know that Dragonfly exists. And a whistleblower speaking out of ethical concerns, which I liked ethical concerns, which was reported by Business Insider, stated that most of the work being conducted out of Google's Mountain View, California headquarters is on this Chinese thing. Not to mean that most of what they're doing. I mean, most of this project is being done here in the United States of America. Home of freedom, First Amendment. We'll skip the Second Amendment because that just really bounces a bunch of people crazy. But all these different amendments to our Constitution. Anybody remember the Constitution? Well, it's kind of been ripped up by the last two presidents, but that's another story. Most of the work is being conducted out of Mountain View, and the people working on it, well, they ought to be ashamed of themselves. They ought to be calling Google out. They should be dropping documents all over the place to that creep WikiLeaks guy and the crazy one with the mask. I forget his name. Lucifer or Goosifer or something like that. Well, maybe even send some stuff to Amnesty International or ProPublica. Let's get the word out because this censorship crap is wrong. And Google, this big, big company headquartered in the United States of America, well, if they're willing to do that for Chinese because it's big bucks, big, big bucks. There's like a gazillion of those Chinese people, and they want the gazillions Chinese people money. That's the bottom line. This is money, money, money. And Google is evil. Evil, evil, evil. I could spend, actually, I think I'm going to make this the Google report. And then tomorrow or Wednesday or whatever, we'll do the Facebook report. Oh, and let me get a paid political announcement in there. This is from one of our sponsors. Uh, it's an anti-Drake commercial. So if you like Drake and you like his singing, which some of it's okay, but this one's been ticking me off every time I hear it. By the way, I listen to the top stuff. I'm married to a younger woman, and I'm on with it. But really, God's plan? God's plan. God's plan. God's plan. God's plan. I can't bash him because I'll be some sort of insensitive jerk, but come on, the song sucks. And I don't care if it's about his hard life, but I do care about God's plan. God's plan. God's plan. I heard it, and every time I hear it, I want to kill myself. And you people at Z100 in New York, stop playing it. And you people out in California, out in LA, whose station name is that I have saved on my little Sirius radio, stop playing it. It sucks. And everybody I talk to, and we work with a lot of younger people, they all say it sucks. But he's good about other stuff. So stop playing the sucky song. It drives me nuts. But back to my conversation about this large employer out in California, which is kind of a nutty place to be anyhow, California. But human rights groups have said it's a dark day for internet freedom, and it would constitute a gross attack on freedom and information and internet freedom if the tech giant accepts or has accepted China's censorship terms. And even if they negotiated with them, they're still accepting China's terms. And you may hate Trump. Gotta love his hair. And maybe the coloring's pretty good too. But other than that, if you hate Trump, you gotta love the fact that apparently he's not a big Chinese fan either, which is pretty cool. But a Chinese version of Google has already been demonstrated to the government officials over there in China land, who are keeping a tight lid on a variety of information if it's critical to the government, especially if it's critical of the government. And you younger people may not remember tanks, like people laying in front of tanks that they drove towards them, over them, whatever, because they didn't want them to, God, can you imagine, occupy wherever if they brought a tank in and just drove it until you left or got crushed? Well, that's what they do over there. But once again, I digress. Um, Google apparently has had an 8-year boycott of this communist country because of complaints over censorship. But they started meeting again in December of like 16 between their chief executive, which is a guy named Sundar Pichai, I think, and top Chinese governments. So who's this Sundar, whatever the correct popular pronunciation is, which I don't really care what it is. The final version is going to be launched in the next 6 to 9 months. Assuming that there's approval from the Chinese government. What is that? How did there get? Who interrupted my broadcast? We interrupt this broadcast with a special news bulletin. Google, you suck. Yes, Google's main search platform is blocked in China, along with its video platform YouTube. And Google's been trying to make inroads into China, and apparently because they think that China has a rapidly expanding economy. They do. There's billions of those people. So in January, the search engine joined an investment in Chinese live stream mobile game platform called Crushou, Chushou, which is, remember I was talking about Tiananmen Square and the tanks? Perfect to have a game called Crushou or whatever it's called. And then earlier this month, they launched an artificial intelligence game on Tencent Holdings social media app WeChat. Not good. Not good. I don't know. You can find stuff all over the internet about this, but you don't hear our government talking about it too much. You don't hear public officials talking about it. In fact, I haven't even heard news people really talking about it. Why aren't they throwing questions out to people that are running for stuff in these midterm elections that people seem to love to hate or hate to love? But this is bad. So that's going to be my little topic for discussion. Gonna put up a thing where you can. I'll actually make a transcript of this. I'll put it up so you can read it. It's going to be on YouTube. Love that. Google's finest product. Allowing me to tell them how they suck and how I think they're evil. And Google partner with China. Yeah. No, not so good, huh? At any rate, I thank you for watching another secretly hidden location, secretly hitting disclosure, secretly hitting anything that I want to secretly hide. And I want to say to you, thank you for Kids Bop Radio. So here we go, and that's the end. I'll be signing off. This platform is going to go live. We're going to stream live back and forth with callers, and that's what we're setting up now. So just keep watching and tell me how I suck or tell me how great I am, because I wouldn't mind hearing both. I will also see if there's a way I can stick a couple images of this Google thing that I got from Getty. And a little copy of a Getty image screenshot of the Chinese Google thing. Pretty cool, huh? It's all that's out there, Google. You can't hide it. Oh, but you can in China because they censor stuff. And I would like to use other words and stuff. I like to throw F-bombs around. I like to do this and that, but I'm not going to. This is me cleaning up my act. So once again, this is the old white guy signing off.